while I'm waiting for deliveries, I figure I would create a third video for the rest of the collection, reminiscing about Bethany Bible College. This will be part 3. And I had sent a group text to all the guys I went to school with. And I was just asking if they could send me some memories of stuff that maybe I hadn't remembered. And there was a good bit, but I think a lot of the memories they shared was probably after I had left, or probably when I wasn't even around, because I don't remember some of the names that they were sharing. But even after I did leave, they continued to have such an awesome time, such hilarious times. Man, it just makes me wish I was there with them that following year to join in. But while they were posting some of the memories, I got to thinking of some other ones that I didn't, remember. So I wrote them down, and I really wanted to create this third video to share with you. And of course, maybe some of the stuff that we said and some of the stuff we did wasn't, good for a Bible college, but hey, what can you do, right? We're friends. We enjoyed each other's company. We laughed. And it's not to say that we weren't following Jesus. We were following him, but really, we're also human. We also make mistakes. And God created laughter for a reason. So, I remember I had expressed in one of the videos that I used to work out in the weight room behind the guys' lounge. I did that every other day, and I think in some ways I started to bulk up. I guess my biceps got bigger and stuff. I don't know about the triceps because I only was bench pressing. And I recall being at a school cafeteria, and I don't know if they were arm wrestling, but there was a guy that went there too called Jason. And I arm wrestled him. And so he couldn't get my arm down. And he was like really trying hard. I think his face was getting red. And Scott's like laughing. He's like, "You're about to pop a nut." It was hilarious. His face was getting like really red because he couldn't get my arm down. But there was also another thing I was, I guess you could say I was famous for, was there's a wrestler, Lex Luger, and he had a move called the torture rack, where you put his opponent up on his shoulders to where his head was here and his legs were here, and I guess it was I don't know if it was a submission move, like the Boston Crab, to where somebody would say they give up. And so I didn't pick up people like that. I mean, I couldn't lift them up from the ground, some people. So I had them stand up on chairs, and I did the torture rack, but it was the other way, to where I got the back of their neck here, and I did that. My friends used to say, "Rack 'em." And then, so we were all watching the movie Braveheart, and this was in, I think, the new dorm that was built, I think. And so all of us were sitting there watching it, and it got to the part to where I guess the judge said to the torturers, "Rack 'em." And so we all laughed. So I racked plenty of good people there. I don't remember their names, but I remember their faces. And I think there was one guy that was like huge. And I I racked him successfully. And I think there was some people that thought I couldn't lift him up, but I did. And the whole time I did it, he was like laughing. So it was funny. But I haven't done that for years, man. Gosh. But there was another incident where I really ticked off Clown. And so how did I do it? Well, I got peanut butter, and he was in his room. So I got his number that was on the phone, and I brought the phone that was close to my room. I brought it into the bedroom, and I kept calling him. So he'd come out, I'd hang up, and then he'd go into his room and shut the door. So I waited a little bit, and I called again. And I think he was getting ticked. And I think he found out where who was calling him. And so for the last time, I went out to his phone, and no, I think it was the one prior. I put peanut butter under his receiver. So when I went to call again, he picked it up, probably had it on him. So I went to do it again. For some reason, I think maybe it wiped off, so I wanted to do it again. So as I called him again. He came out, and then he went back into his room. So I went up to his phone, and then he opened the door while I had the peanut butter on a knife. He said, "Will you stop it?" And so I said, "You want some?" He's like, "No!" So he goes into his room. And that was like the first time that I've seen Clown ticked. So it was hilarious. And I had already mentioned in the other video how we used to watch like Mystery Science Theater 3000, and we used to watch Happy Gilmore, and I used to quote them at the cafeteria. We all quoted them. But I used to quote the dialogue of Happy Gilmore. And I got some of the guys laughing. "Recognize me now, Ruth?" And so many other quotes from Mystery Science Theater. "That's two thus far, shooter." "Oh, good, you can count." "And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot." That's Happy Gilmore, for those that don't know. It was kind of funny is that I started watching all the James Bond movies. I'm up to The Living Daylights with Timothy Dalton. But in the movie prior with Roger Moore, I noticed that Mr. Larson from Happy Gilmore was in a couple of James Bond movies as Jaws. So I thought that was pretty neat. I thought I recognized him. But we used to be at the cafeteria quoting like Happy Gilmore, and then we go and watch the movie. And I remember Ben, he had such a great laugh, man. It was like loud, but you can always tell it was Ben. And through the whole movie, I can hear him laughing. And we all laughed, but you can always hear Ben. There was another time where I went into John and Ben's room with my guitar, and I was like singing some country songs, and my friend Trevor reminded me that I think I was singing "Your Cheating Heart." And so Ben laughingly pushed me out of his room, which was funny. And then I had stated already in another video that I put 16 candles on in the guys' lounge for all of us to see, and it got to the shower part where it showed like a full frontal of this chick taking a shower. And so I think it was Chris LeBlanc that got up, shut it off, and then I think he reported me to the dean, in which I had to talk to him. And I think Dale Muir, who was like second to King Kong, he was in there watching it too, and he gave me the offer that I had to refuse. But I got a delivery. Well, wait a minute. Where is this? Nah, I ain't driving no 22 miles. It's good pay that I ain't doing that. But never mind. So Dale tried to give me an offer that I had to refuse. Well, I was thinking about it. I told the dean that Dale offered to edit the movie for me, so it took that out. But as I told the dean said that Dale was struggling with pornography. So I was like, oh, I guess you can't do that then. So I guess that movie didn't help. And of course, it was funny, but I think about it and, I didn't think about that at that time. Where, like, if your brother has a weakness, it's best not to do anything like that. Get them in that place where they're weak. If somebody's, drinking alcohol and somebody was a former alcoholic, drinking beer around them wouldn't be an act of love. So I didn't think about that for the other guys and what we struggled with. But I remember it was being shut off and some of the guys were like, dude, what the And so we ended up putting another movie on. And I honestly, I thought it was Dale Muir that pooped that big piece of crap. But it ended up being somebody else. There was a night, too, I had mentioned how we all stayed up late, like 2 or 3 in the morning. So a crowd of us were, like, talking and laughing in the hallway as we were heading into the guy's bathroom. And the short guy with blonde curly hair and glasses named Jason McGee was like, he was like yelling at us. He's like, do you know what time it is? And John's like, yeah, it's 3:45. And Jason's like, this is crazy. This is stupid. This is stupid. And John was like, if being loud is wrong, I don't want to be right. That was hilarious. But there were some other stories that I want to share. I wasn't a witness, I don't believe, of that, but different other stories they shared with me that was hilarious, where this guy fell out of a window onto his knees, which that would have been hilarious to see. And then our friend Adam stuck poop in a heater. I can't imagine. I don't know if I was there then. I could have been there. And then Jason said that, like, paint balls were thrown into the guy's showers, and I guess it was the school that had to clean it up for a week. Man, so many funny things happen there. And then there was a few of us. I think Jason was in it as well. And we had to dress up as fairies. And so, of course, we didn't have any costumes, so we had to improvise. So I remember borrowing orange shorts from somebody, and I wore them. And I think I had tights or something on. I don't remember if I had a tutu or anything, but I think I put a bandana on. And I was dancing like a ballerina in the middle. And John and Ben are in the audience, I don't know where, I think it was in the mess hall. They were getting a picture or something. And John and Ben are like laughing. And I'm like dancing like that in a circle. And I guess like one of the chicks from the Bible college, I don't remember her name, but she had like real curly hair. She was one of the famous ones. And she was like looking at me like, ew. my gosh, he is like so huge. So you can always tell what somebody's thinking by the look on their face, but I guess she was repulsed. So there was another time, and we were watching Schindler's List in the guys' lounge. And so it was me, Trevor, and Adam at the table. John, Ben, and everyone else were sitting in the other chairs. And it was a serious movie. Of course, I've never seen it before. I know it's a sad movie because I've seen it. It wasn't recently, but years back. But at that time at the Bible College, I'd never seen it. And so all three of us were at the table joking about different things of the movie. And there was the part at the beginning where Oscar Schindler went into a German party. And so we were at the table laughing, and so at that moment in the movie, they were singing da da dee, da da da, da da dee, da da da. So we were all humming that. Some of the guys were like, "Shut up!" And there was a scene like in some of the movies, you can always tell the music where two people are about to get intimate, and so that same type of music was happening in the movie. And Adam's like, "Uh-oh, guys, I think we know what's going to happen next." The guy's like, "Shut up!" Oh. But I think that's some of the memories I have right now that I wanted to share that I thought were hilarious. And hopefully more I can think about and remember because it's been so long, man. But I hope you enjoy this video and reminiscing. For those that haven't been there and haven't been with us, you really wouldn't understand how funny it was. But I guess it's more or less for my friends to remember. So thank you for taking the time to watch.